In this video, I will try and simplify the process of backpropagation. Hello all budding data scientists and machine learning enthusiasts. My name is Neeraj Sabnani and I welcome you to Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning Simplified. In this video, we will cover the meaning of backpropagation and its role. We'll also look at the gradient descent and its role in the training of neural networks. So let's understand what's the meaning of backpropagation, where is it used. So the process of fine-tuning the weights in the neural network based on the error computed from each and every iteration is known as backpropagation. Simply, propagation means transmitting something, let's say light, sound, motion, information in a particular direction. Similarly, the backpropagation in the deep learning neural network is about transmission of the error produced by the neural network in the backward direction. So if you look at a typical neural network, it consists of input layer, hidden layers and the output layer. So here we have shown a neural network having all these different components. So as the training process begins, these weights are assigned randomly to these different components. So all these weights here are assigned randomly initially, and then through the process of forward propagation, or also known as forward pass, the network computes the output. Once the output is computed, this output is compared with the actual output and we compute the loss, which is difference between the actual output and the predicted output. Once the loss is computed, it is also known as the error. The network propagates this error in the reverse direction such that the parameters, which includes weights and biases, can be updated in order to fine-tune the network such that final outcome from this network is minimal error or the loss. So let's understand the process of network also with a simple scenario. So let's compare it with an untrained newborn baby. So initially when the babies are born, they are ignorant of the world, and it is only through the exposure of the world their ignorance is slowly reduced. Similarly, algorithms of neural network experience the world through the data, and by training a neural network through a relevant data set, we are trying to decrease its ignorance, and we measure the performance of this network by measuring the error produced by this network. Another example of backward propagation or the neural network can be in a typical organization. We have multiple departments. They all work together to produce the output and contribute towards the revenue. So example, we can have departments like manufacturing, marketing, sales, finance and HR. They all are contributing in different proportion to produce the output and contribute towards the revenue. However, once the revenue is produced, we see that it may be different from the target which was originally planned, which means a change in the strategy is required, and this change has to be done by each and every department. However, the contribution of each and every department has been different towards this revenue, and as a result this change or the correction will also be different for each and every department. Hopefully you would have got some idea about the backpropagation and what it accomplishes during the training of the neural network. So typically in neural network there are multiple parameters, and these parameters have a relationship with the network error, and whenever these parameters changes, the error also changes. So we can change these parameters using an optimization process. A popular optimization process is a gradient descent, which is useful for finding the minimum of a function. Because in the neural network, we try and minimize the error. So gradient is a slope. So in case of a linear relationship between y and x, the slope is constant. And whenever the equation is of the form y equal to mx plus c, or in this case y equal to 2x, m or 2 in this case is the slope of this line. The slope can also be measured as a change in y with respect to a change in x, and we can measure the slope with the help of that. So that happens in the case of the linear relationship. However, when we have a non-linear relationship, to measure the slope, we can look at a small portion on the graph, and that could still be approximated to a straight line. So if we draw a tangent on this small portion, that tangent will be a straight line, and we can find the slope by measuring the small change in y corresponding to the small change in x, and that is also known as differential of y with respect to differential of x. And we can substitute and understand the change of y here by substituting the value of y equal to x square and then dividing by the small change in x. So once we expand this term, and also we know that delta x square would be a very small value, so del y by del x would come to 2x. And what we observe here is the slope of the y equal to x square function would vary because it's a function of x. So at x equal to 1, we have slope of 2, and x equal to 4, we have a slope of 8. So in neural network, y can be looked at here as an error produced by the network, and x can be considered as any of the parameter in the network. It could be your bias, it could be different weight terms. And this parameter has a relationship with the error. And by changing this parameter, let's say weight, or by bias, by increasing or decreasing these numbers, we can increase or decrease the error. So this gradient tells us the change in y with respect to the change in x. That is the change in error with respect to some of the parameters of the neural network. In that neural network, there are multiple parameters. So that's where this concept of partial derivatives come, which is about the contribution of each variable to the change in error. So mathematically, I'm just trying to explain the concept of partial derivative here. We have a function f which is a function of x and y. Then the function is x square plus y raised to power 5. When we want to compute the derivative of f with respect to x, we will treat the y term as a constant. So doing the derivative of f with respect to x, we get 2x corresponding to x square. We also saw that in the previous section. And corresponding to y, we get a 0 as the derivative, because y is considered as a constant as it is not a function of x. And we can also look at the reference part of it. Whenever we're doing the derivative of f x raised to power n with respect to x, it is n x raised to power n minus 1. So n basically comes in front and the power reduces by 1. And we had seen the specific example of x square equal to having a derivative of 2x in the previous section as well. Now, if we want to do the derivative of f or partial derivative of f with respect to y, we will apply the same rule, and then the derivative here with respect to x will be 0 because it will be considered constant, and the derivative with y will be respect to 5 y raised to power 4 because 5 will be coming here in this formula. 5 is equivalent to n, and then we will have 5 y raised to power 4. So typically, if we try and draw a parallel with neural network, in a neural network, in an example for prediction of the house, price of the house, we got a relationship as price of the house which is dependent on number of rooms and the area of the house. And the equation we got of the form was 2 into n rooms cube plus area whole square. If we do the partial derivative of price with respect to the number of rooms, we get 6 number of rooms square, and similarly partial derivative of price with respect to area, we get 2 times the area. So what we observe is the change in price with respect to 1 unit change in room is 3 times more than the change in price with respect to 1 unit change in the area. So gradient also helps us find the relationship and show the impact of different components, how different parameters are contributing. Not every parameter would contribute equally to the error. So now let's look at how gradient descent helps to optimize the weights during the training process. So let's consider a plot of error with respect to the weight. So we have error here and then we have the weight here. And in the process of the optimization, we can start at any point, at a random point here, and then we figure out in which direction we need to move such that we are able to get to the minima point, because the objective is to minimize this error. So on the left hand side, we see that we have a negative slope here, and as we move towards the minima, we need to increase the weight. So weight is increasing in this direction. So as we have to move towards the minima, we need to increase the weight. Whereas if we start on a point which is on the right hand side, we see that the slope is positive. And again, to reach to the minima point, we have to reduce the weight. Same can also be seen with the help of the formula of weight update. So typically, whenever we talk about weight update through different iterations in neural network, we look at the new weight is equal to the old weight minus learning rate, and then we have the derivative of error with respect to the weight. So when we are on this side, that is on the left hand side, we have a negative slope. So once we put this value of negative slope here, this whole term will become positive, because typically learning rate is somewhere between 0 and 1. So this whole term will become positive and the new weight will be higher than the previous weight, and that's where the new weight will be increasing as we try and optimize. Whereas when we are on the right hand side, we look at the derivative is the positive, so accordingly this whole term of minus of this will reduce the weight by some amount, and as a result the new weight will be lower than the original weight, and again that will show that we are moving towards the minimum. So in case of the complicated functions, we may not necessarily be able to reach to the global minima. There is a high possibility that some of the functions may be able to only go to the local minima, and then once they get stuck there, they may not be able to come to the local minima. So in the neural network, as we have many parameters, we may not be able to visualize the same in 2 or 3 dimensions. However, we can use the gradient descent and it gives the direction of the highest rate of reduction of the cost function. With this multiple parameters, gradient descent gives us the direction and the impact each value will have. And when we compute the negative gradient of the cost function, it tells us how the changes in these weights and biases changes the cost function effectively. So in this example, as we are seeing for the negative of the cost gradient, we are seeing that the change in W0, first of all, it has to increase, and then the change in W0 will have a much bigger impact for the corresponding to the change in W1. So when we say the network is learning, it is all about minimizing the cost function. And this process of repeatedly updating the cost function in the direction of the steepest slope is known as the process of gradient descent. And when the network learns through this training data set and it understands, updates different weights, our expectation is there is enough generalization that is happening in the weights and the biases that the final network will be able to give the right answer on the unseen data set as well. Just to recap, in this video we covered the meaning of the backpropagation, we covered the meaning of gradient descent and how it is useful in the learning of the neural network. I hope you found this video helpful, and please like this video by clicking on the like button and share it with your friends. Kindly subscribe to the channel to receive new updates. Thank you all and happy learning.